A2IM Indie Week 2021, presented by Sound Exchange.
Good afternoon and welcome to Indie Week 2021, presented by Sound Exchange. I'm Richard James Burgess, President and CEO of A2IM. Welcome to our annual general meeting. It's wonderful to see so many old friends again, and it's always exciting to be joined by such a large contingent of international delegates from around the globe. I want to say an especially warm hello to our many new members. We look forward to meeting you in person in the not too distant future. Emerging out of a challenging year, we're feeling a powerful sense of optimism and even rebirth. The pandemic has been devastating, with such a sad loss of so many lives and livelihoods. And we truly hope that the widespread support for long overdue social justice does not subside. A2IM continues using its voice to spearhead advocacy issues, to amplify underrepresented and minority voices, and to support the rights of artists and copyright owners. The A2IM team has been absolutely breathtaking in their enthusiasm for conquering obstacles, as have our producers, Marauder. And I want to send a big thank you to Adriana Kegi, who edits the hundreds of hours of video for our panels and presentations. As with last year, there will be a Q&A session at the end of every live presentation. And if you should miss a panel or presentation, most of them will be available until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Sunday, June 20th. Thank you all for your continued support. And please give us feedback so that we can make Indie Week as useful to you as possible. Now, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on some of the many things that A2IM has worked on over the past year. A2IM's fiscal year runs from July to June. Fiscal year 21 has been challenging, but A2IM has stayed nimble and pivoted in ways that have kept us safe financially, kept our staff connected and safe, and we've seen member satisfaction and retention remaining high as well. A2IM has more than 600 label members. To clarify, label and dual members own or control copyrights, while dual members also have another aspect to their business, such as distribution. Associate members are non-copyright owning members. I'm grateful to report that fiscal year 21 saw an increase in membership across the board. We experienced only a modest churn rate, and some members who left in fiscal year 20 due to COVID-19 returned in 2021. I'm pleased to say that our membership team consistently exceeded their monthly acquisition goals. Nothing that A2IM does would be possible without our incredible team. We lost 2 team members to new adventures this year. We were happy for them to expand their horizons, and we've not missed a beat with the 10 of us who remain. We've had a few promotions in the office. Lisa is moving to General Manager, Cheryl to Head of Strategic Planning, Alyssa, Senior Director, Label Member Relations, Brian, Senior Manager, Member Services and Partnerships, Ross to Senior Manager Operations, and Evan to Senior Manager Membership. The A2IM board oversees the governance of the organization and representation of the membership. The board meets monthly and as needed when there are pressing issues to be resolved. The board members serve 3-year terms, and every year, either 3 or 4 board members and their companies rotate off the board for at least 12 months. We do this to avoid stagnation and to open up the opportunities for all members to run for the board. It's not uncommon for members to run for several years before getting elected to the board. The Executive Committee of the Board of Governors contributes even more time than the board and advisory board members. This has been a busy year, with many legislative and other issues cropping up. I want to thank our chairperson, Tony Kewell, Treasurer Zena White, and Secretary Louis Posen for their many contributions to the smooth running of A2IM this past year. We will announce the new executive committee shortly. Each year, board members who have served 3 continuous years step down from the board, and new board members are elected to fill those vacant seats. We welcome our brand new incoming board member, Mariah Zapp, co-GM of YepRock. Heather Johnson, CEO of 99 Lives, was elected to the board after serving a year as an advisory board member, and Vic Zaraya, COO of Concord, was re-elected to the board after a year off. Vic also serves on the A2IM Finance Committee. We want to thank the outgoing advisory board as well, which is comprised of up to 6 non-voting members. Advisory board members take part in all board meetings and discussions and help broaden the perspective of the organization. Several advisory board members have subsequently been elected to the full board, as happened this year with Heather Johnson of 99 Lives. The purpose of the advisory board is to expand the expertise available to the organization and to expose the inner workings to more members. Advisory board members serve 1-year terms and can be renewed with a majority vote of the board. We want to welcome the incoming advisory board of David Hernandez of Colonized Media, Glenn Barris of Acceleration Music, Eileen Tilson of Oh Boy Records, and Susan Bush of Domino Records, who will serve for the next 12 months, along with Tony Alexander of Made in Memphis Entertainment and Mary Jury of Blue Elan Records, who will both continue on the advisory board for another year. Advocacy is at the core of what A2IM does. We have our lobbyist, Josh Hurwitz, with MVG in Washington, D.C., who I communicate with daily. Our objective is to stop any legislation that can hurt our members and copyright holders in general, and to promulgate legislation that will improve the value returned to copyright creators and owners, and make sure that the independent sector's voice is heard and considered in all legislative matters. We do many filings with the Copyright Office and other government agencies, and we work closely with the other music trade associations to better the lives of the creative community and our labels. We collaborate with many other entities to make sure that PPP and unemployment insurance and pandemic unemployment assistance were available to cover all needs. We've championed the HITS Act along with the Recording Academy as a bill that would allow labels and their artists to recover their recording costs in the year in which they were incurred, instead of having to amortize them over several years, as is currently the case. The bill has been rebuffed twice, and we're currently on our 3rd attempt to get this legislation passed. We're always working on possible improvements to the notice and takedown provisions of the DMCA. It's a long process, but we will stay the course. We were part of the coalition that eventually got the CASE Act passed. The CASE Act creates a small claims court for copyright owners. This bill will take time to be implemented, but the passage of the bill was a big win for all copyright holders. We supported NEVA's Save Our Stages legislation, and we support all meaningful social justice initiatives. We don't generally work in the state legislatures, but the AB5 bill in California threatened the livelihoods of freelancers in the music industry, so we participated in a coalition with the artists and major labels to ensure that the true century-old gig economy, that is an essential part of the music industry, could continue to function. We never stopped working on the terrestrial right for AM/FM radio as part of the Music First Coalition. This is an egregious wrong that needs to be righted, and there is cause for optimism with the newly revamped Music First team. We also advocate directly with entities that are taking actions that diminish the value of copyrights. We do this by engaging in direct discussions to explain our members' concerns. We send out educational alerts to our members, and if all else fails, we go to the media to make sure that all who are affected are aware of the issues, and when possible, and if necessary, we will go to Congress or government agencies for help. These 4 advocacy slides represent just a tiny portion of the advocacy activities that we engage in each year to keep the legislative and business environment friendly to your businesses. We launched BIMA, the Black Independent Music Accelerator, this past year with the objective of supporting Black-owned independent music companies and helping them grow. It was an immediate hit that resulted in the onboarding of 31 new Black-owned A2IM member companies. The mentorship program is incredibly popular with our members, so much so that the mentorship committee modified the program from once a year to twice yearly to allow for greater participation among our members. We're now in the 4th cycle. We recently added complimentary mentorship skills workshops sponsored by Entergame, which reviews best practices for maximizing the learning environment for the mentees and mentors, ensuring both parties gain from the experience. And the mentor committee organized an online happy hour, which was well attended. We also added a mentor-only private Slack channel so that mentors could communicate with and help one another as needed. DIY artists are a huge part of the independent music scene, and to support that part of our community, A2IM Artists launched in real life in early 2020. Despite the lockdowns, we continued to hold well-attended virtual events, and we populate our online resource guide every Wednesday with quality content. We partner with local organizations so that we can align our programming with the needs of local artists. To date, we've partnered with the Columbus Music Commission, the Motown Musicians Accelerator in Detroit, Memphis chapter of the Recording Academy, Louisiana Entertainment, the consortium MMT in the Delta region, and the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment in New York. A2IM Artists has much room for growth, but the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, and it is financially successful. The A2IM Libero Awards is the largest independent award show in the world. The purpose of the Libero Awards is to create greater awareness of independent music, and last year's pivot to a virtual format offered us an amazing opportunity to further extend the show's reach. The live stream is free to all via YouTube. This year's show features more higher profile artists accepting awards and performing than ever before. So make sure you watch this Thursday on YouTube. That's June 17th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for an amazing show. Looking for ways to continue bringing benefits and connection to our members during the pandemic, Lisa Resco, our GM, came up with the idea of Pan Am Independent Music Summit to connect all of the Americas virtually. It was a resounding success by every metric, and the feedback was extremely positive. This is an example of an event that would have been much more challenging to put together in real life, but it worked beautifully online. Our pivot to a virtual A2IM Indie Week last year was a total leap in the dark at a point when we were already very far along in our preparations for an in-person meeting. The virtual event was a huge success. Support from our members and sponsors was overwhelmingly positive, and the A2IM team more than met the many technological and conceptual challenges. 2019 was the 5th year of A2IM Sync Up and the biggest to date. In 2020, we suspended Sync Up because of the pandemic, and we substituted a brand new virtual event called Let's Get Digital. A2IM's Let's Get Digital is a new online event to create opportunities between independent record labels and digital service providers to meet for a day of workshops from the service providers, with the opportunity to sign up for executive one-on-one meetings. We will return to Sync Up as soon as it's safe to connect members and music supervisors in person for sync licensing opportunities, and we will also continue the DSP workshop component. I'm happy to say that we have a number of independent labels enjoying significant anniversaries this year. with Bruce Iglar's Chicago-based Alligator Records celebrating an incredible 50 years in business, having witnessed the introduction of 5 different delivery formats. And then there's Oh Boy Records celebrating an amazing 40 years in business. Congratulations to all of our members celebrating significant anniversaries. Thank you so much for being with us today and for being a member of A2IM. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the chairperson of our board, Tony Kewell, president of the legendary Sub Pop Records. Tony?
Hello, and welcome to Indie Week. I'm Tony Kewell, co-president of Sub Pop Records, and I've been honored to serve on A2IM's board for the last 3 years and humbled to have been selected as its chairperson for the last year. And what a year it's been. I want to extend my unbridled gratitude to the entire A2IM staff and their tireless leader, Dr. Richard Burgess, as well as to all the other members of the board. In particular, I'd like to thank the board's executive committee, Zena White and Louis Posen. Getting to work hand in hand with all of you has been truly inspiring and incredibly educational. In fact, I'd say that despite all of its challenges, inspiring and educational have been the recurring themes that define this last year. Despite a total disruption to our normal lives and a wildly uncertain future, I watched our community and this organization in particular not only rally to raise money and awareness for equity and racial justice, but do meaningful work to fix systemic imbalances in the industry. In particular, I want to shine a spotlight on BEMA, which is already proving to be an important and effective initiative to promote diversity and equity. And they did all this while continuing to serve its membership in a time of chaos and struggling to pivot to virtual events and rebalancing wildly out-of-date operating budgets. I also saw our members and the artists we work with come to the aid of our dear friends who work at music venues or as touring personnel around the world. Time and again, we all came together to help those in most need despite struggling with often profound disruptions of our own. As we exit this tumultuous period of survival and enter this profoundly unique period of rebuilding, I would challenge each of us to hold on to that compassion. We don't need to go back to the way things were. And we shouldn't. We can embrace this as an opportunity and challenge ourselves to continue to find ways to make our industry a kinder place where everyone can expect to be treated fairly and equitably. We should take advantage of these new technologies to improve transparency in our businesses. We can reach out to each other, our peers, to share our knowledge and resources. We can look inside of our organizations and continue to foster access and diversity. The strength of our independent community has always lay in our shared belief that we all do better when we work together. But make no mistake, we are not alone in recognizing that there's an opportunity right now to reshape this industry. If we don't rise to this occasion and work together to define what it should look like, we can rest assured that larger corporations with lesser ideals assuredly will. As the stewards of independent music, we represent a diverse group of people with unique business models and strategies. And while we should celebrate and learn from our differences, we should be united in our vision that there should not only be room for anyone in this industry, but that their platform should be tall enough to be heard. That through cooperation and community, we can increase the volume of all of our voices. And that our artists and the music they create need to be protected and respected. Some would have us believe our business is asset creation. It is emphatically not. Our business is culture. Our business is change. And A2IM is a powerful tool that we are lucky to have at our disposal. But like any tool, it's only useful if it's used and very dependent on the hand that wields it. So I would urge each of you to get involved. Reach out to the staff, reach out to your fellow members, reach out to me, and then encourage those on your teams to do the same. And while I'm now exiting my term on the board, I still couldn't be prouder to be a part of this community. So again, I would ask each of you to please hold on to your ideals and each other as we move forward. And let's not just rebuild, but build something better. Thank you all, and I hope you all enjoy the incredible panels and programming we have in store for you this week. Thank you again.
Hello, I am Noemi Planas, General Manager at WIN, and I am delighted to have this opportunity to present the work that we do. For those of you who don't know me, I have over 20 years of experience working in various areas of the independent industry at an independent record label, booking and organizing concerts, and running my own music publishing company. Before joining WIN in 2019, I was the executive manager of UFI, the Spanish A2IM, which I co-founded in 2003. That's me at the age of 26, the only woman on the board. I also served as a director on Impala's board for 8 years, and I have been involved in WIN's activities since its inception. WIN turns 15 this year. It was founded in 2006 in response to shared issues faced by the music sector everywhere, with the objective to join independents around the world and exert our collective strength. We have achieved a great deal since the Global Independent Standard in 2012, the Fair Digital Deals Declaration in 2014, the first WinTel in 2016, and the launch of RDX in 2020 are amongst our most relevant milestones. Last year, the global impact of the pandemic meant that we had to alter existing plans, canceling all travel and adapting to the virtual world. We focus on obtaining and sharing as much information as possible on lobbying initiatives and strategies in place around the world. We also responded by publishing updates and reports and hosting webinars on the impact of the pandemic to ensure that the independent sector was well informed about the immediate response and the expectations for the future. We reinforced the work on regional groups with the creation of the LATAM network and laying the foundations for a future Asia-Pacific network. This has been key to the success of initiatives such as the Latin American Observatory of Independent Music. We relaunched WinTel, our flagship market research project, after a 3-year gap, with the emphasis on providing facts and resources to assist the independents in their lobbying globally, regionally, and country by country. 2020 also saw the launch of the Repertoire Data Exchange Service, or RDX, WIN's joint venture with IFPI. RDX operates as a one-step single conduit through which labels can deliver sound recording repertoires directly to multiple music licensing companies using DDAC standards. The challenges of the past year have demonstrated the value that WIN brings to the international independent music community. Our efforts to provide support and to create spaces for the exchange of knowledge and expertise have delivered real benefits during this trying time. We look forward to the coming years with optimism, and we are motivated to further develop and improve the independent sector with A2IM as an essential partner and ally. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Sirota, and I am CEO of Merlin. I'm pleased to be presenting today as a partner to A2IM and independents here in the US and around the world. Since stepping into this role last year, I've been proud to witness the growth and resilience of independents during this challenging period. I'm also so proud of what the Merlin team has accomplished on behalf of our members. We are here for our members in both good times and in bad times. And while this may be my second year addressing the A2IM community, I'd like to start off by explaining what Merlin is and what we do on behalf of our members. Merlin is the independent's digital music licensing partner. We strike premium deals for our members with services like Spotify, Facebook, Apple, TikTok, YouTube, and other global, regional, and strategic services. Our diverse and global membership benefits from Merlin's premium deals, but our members can work directly with digital partners. One of our primary goals is to ensure our members have the means to compete at the highest levels. Our members represent tens of thousands of labels and the music from hundreds of thousands of artists, ranging from indie rockers to hip-hop artists and from R&B powerhouses to leading country stars. And we treat all of our members, from the largest distributor to the smallest label, on an equal footing. Merlin is owned by our members and operates like a not-for-profit. We have a board of directors that is elected from and by our members. And we don't have investors looking for an exit. There is no parent company with different motives. Merlin is an organization that exists solely to serve our members' interests. And even if you're not a direct member, the likelihood is that you benefit from Merlin if you manage your digital business via an independently owned digital distributor, nearly all of whom are Merlin members and participating in Merlin's premium deals. The Merlin team is energized by learning about the needs of our members and what it means for each of them to be independent. And because our members have the freedom to choose which of the Merlin deals they want to participate in, Merlin only succeeds in our deal making when we understand what our members truly need from their digital partnerships. When Merlin partners with a digital service, that service also benefits. They have a centralized partner for licensing, reporting, payments, and the support that we provide to our members behind the scenes. Merlin is at the forefront of seeking new partnerships. We take a thoughtful approach to our deal making to ensure that both our members and our digital partners will benefit from the partnership. And at the same time, our priority is to ensure that our members' rights are properly valued. Being thoughtful, though, doesn't mean we're hesitant to be early adopters. In fact, Merlin was the first to sign a sound recording deal with Snap last year. We were pleased to enter into a deal with Triller. We were early adopters of Instagram Reels on behalf of our members, and we leaned heavily into new feature offerings from YouTube for our members, such as Super Chat, Super Stickers, and now their recent launch of Shorts. Since last June, we've also expanded our existing partnerships, as well as offering new deals to our members. We renewed all of our deals in China. That includes our relationships with Tencent, NetEase, and Alibaba. And we entered into a new partnership with Jukes to help enhance our members' repertoire across Asia and other countries. Since last Indie Week, Merlin has welcomed over 75 members from 30 different countries who meet our unique qualifiers. We're proud to support such an incredible array of members and music in different languages and different genres. We were also pleased to welcome so many new members to Merlin from the US, many of whom are A2IM members. To name just a few, we are proud to welcome God Mode, Italians Do It Better, Matter Collective, Normac, and Slang Music. Our collective approach means that Merlin now represents a 15% global market share to the benefit of our members and our partners. It is our members who drive our mission and continue to inspire us to enable their independence. The board that advises and guides Merlin, which is elected from our members and by our members, started their terms in 2020. Our board represents the most diverse board in our organization's history, with representation from 13 countries. Later this year, we will start the nomination process and the elections for the next Merlin board. I look forward to welcoming the members who will next serve as our board members, representing the interests of our entire membership. The vibrancy of the digital evolution is not without its challenges, though. The speed of change, especially in the last couple years, has been phenomenal, and it's only increasing. This represents exciting opportunities for independence, but the need to constantly adapt can also be exhausting. For Merlin, a core tenet of our approach is building an organization that can withstand and adapt to these disruptive changes. To achieve this, we've spent the last year focusing on our people, our tools, and our processes. This approach has better enabled us to support our membership as this evolution continues. Last year, I spoke about how our deal making had doubled in size. Our members continue to reap the benefits of that expansion as we're able to close new deals quicker and renew our existing partnerships faster. We've also added 3 new people to our member and partner success teams this year. I'm pleased to have elevated Emma Robinson to run a new department called Member Operations. The department is there to help better support our members from an operational perspective. I'm also proud of how our data and analytics team continues to help us amplify our deal-making process. And I'm pleased that we added a new hire last year to Marta's team to help in that space. Last year, I mentioned that Merlin wanted to grow its impact in this area. So 3 weeks ago, I was proud to announce our new hire in Insights, who will sit alongside our data and analytics team. This new role is intended to interface with our digital partners and our members to ensure that they can benefit from marketplace and partner insights to take more advantages of opportunities within the digital space. In addition, over the last year, I was proud to promote a number of other people on the Merlin team. Jim Mahoney was promoted to SVP of Member and Partner Success. Chris Tarbett was promoted to Director of Commercial Partnerships. Chida Kafundi rose to Director of Technology and Business Solutions. And Sim Verdi was elevated to Product Manager to help us better support our growing engineering team and our growing technology stack. In January, I was very proud to launch the new Merlin brand, our new logo, and our new way to tell the Merlin story through our members and their music. If you haven't yet, come check us out at merlinnetwork.org. All this is to say, I'm incredibly proud to lead Merlin, to provide value to independents around the world, and to support this ecosystem. The entire Merlin team is motivated by the opportunity to have a positive impact on our members and their artists. I am inspired every day by what our small but nimble team accomplishes for our members. I look forward to continuing to enable our members to be independent while competing on an equal footing. So thank you to Richard Burgess and the entire A2IM team for inviting me to speak today. I look forward to the rest of the conference and seeing everyone at the Libera Awards. Be well.
Hi, so I'm Helen Smith from Impala, which is the European sister organisation to A2IM, and we are linked up through WIN, the worldwide network. I am joining the AGM today to give you what I think has become a bit of a tradition. It's the postcard from Europe. And there are a few things I want to concentrate on today because we're nearly in the month of June, and that's the deadline for all European countries to implement the European Copyright Directive. And that will mean that all national legislations will have to ensure that the value gap that you get between platforms and rights holders when it comes to licensing recorded music, that's going to be fixed. We are seeing some interesting approaches in some countries, but thankfully most seem to be sticking to the original text of the directive, and this is going to be hopefully a real catalyst to change in other countries as well, in other jurisdictions, when we see the importance of getting value for our music. And that's really what A2IM and Impala and all of our sisters all around the world really stand for, reinforcing the value of our music. Also, this year, Impala's celebrated its 20th birthday, and that's all about value, diversity, putting a spotlight on the European sector. making sure people understand what does it mean to run an independent business. What do some of our venues look like? Do we know who our managers are? You know, we have so many different countries in Europe, and the idea is to really put the spotlight on that. So you can find that on our website, which is impalamusic.org, and then there's a special Impala 20 blog page. So there you have links to all the playlists, our interviews, our new podcast series for our birthday called 20 Minutes With. That's got some really, really great listens, and they're all on Spotify and all the other streaming services with podcasts. So I hope you listen and send us some comments, tell us what you think. The other point I wanted to really focus on today is the work that everyone's doing in the streaming world. So we have a set of 10 recommendations that we produced, which is really about reforming streaming. It's about getting services to really open up and listen to the idea that we can work together on some new models. We're not necessarily stuck in a debate between is user-centric better than the model we have today? Are there other models? We've come up with a set of recommendations. It also looks inward. It looks at our own sector. We talk about remuneration for artists. We talk about whether our contracts need to be updated. That's a definite recommendation, definite yes. We reject calls from performers for equitable remuneration because that has a specific legal meaning, and we don't feel that's the right way to go when it comes to streaming. We believe that we all want to work together to improve the value, to improve what we actually get from streaming services, and to really develop new exciting ways to work together, because streaming partners are fundamental. They really create exciting opportunities for our artists to work together, and you know, this is really crucial. It's all part of our big picture when it comes to copyright, value gap, the streaming plan, how we recognise value in the music sector. The other part of the postcard is really about diversity and inclusion. It's coming up now, when I'm recording this anyway, it's coming up to the anniversary of Blackout Tuesday. I know that A2IM and Impala and other organisations around the world have been really engaged on this. We, for the example, this year, we brought out a charter setting out our commitments, so we're going to report on that every year. We introduced training for members. We've just launched in the last couple of weeks a survey, which is all about starting to measure diversity and inclusion in the independent sector in Europe. And our message for members is, you know, if you do one thing this year to change how you work, is really fill out that survey and start measuring what you're doing on a daily basis. That's really important for us moving forward. The other point I wanted to mention is really fundamental as well. It's about our sector moving forward. It's about looking at sustainability, looking at our commitment to climate action. And here, Impala has set some quite ambitious targets moving forward. So we have a midterm target, and we have the ultimate target of 2030, when we want to not just be neutral when it comes to carbon, but we want to be making a positive impact on our climate. Those are our targets. And to get there, we're going to be building a sustainability calculator, what we're going to call it, well, it's basically a carbon calculator. And we want to make that available to all of our members so that they can start measuring and make their way towards meeting these targets. Obviously, our commitment as a whole is not just in Europe, it's across all jurisdictions. And you know, I'm really pleased to be participating also at A2IM in a panel with the chair of our task force this year, where we're going to be discussing the calculator. We're going to be discussing what else we're doing as a sector, including looking at, you know, possible really exciting commercial solutions on a collective basis to questions like offsetting, insetting, all those questions that are going to be fundamental to the sector as we move forward over the next few years. So that's my postcard. I wanted also just to mention that, you know, it's so great to work with Rich and A2IM around the WIN table. We have such a great asset in the international network, and we're working hard on Wintel, which is going to be the next big measure we have of the value of the independent sector. And that's going to be really important to us all when we're coming to push for new rights. For example, a new performance right in the States is really crucial. A2IM is pushing that very hard, and we think that's absolutely the right way to go. To raise the level of protection across the globe, and the USA introducing performance rights for cafes and broadcasters is definitely a big priority for us. We're currently dealing with a court case in Europe where, you know, we expect some clarity on whether or not European performance rights money would actually go to the States, and clearly our priority is to make sure that the US has those rights, and then everyone is on an equal footing. So I hope that our postcard from Europe is interesting. I believe that working together and making sure that we are fundamentally aligned with our artists, with our performers, with our digital services is a big priority, and that is really the key to achieving all of our targets for the future, all of the issues we want to work on together, whether it comes to protecting the value of our music, the value of our people, and the value of our climate, of course. So please check out Impala 20 blog on our Impala website, impalamusic.org. And I hope that next year we'll be there in person. I'm really looking forward to that. I've been vaccinated once already. My second dose is coming up in a few weeks. So I hope to be there in person next year. Take care, everyone. Thanks very much. Look forward to the rest of Indie Week. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Tony, Noemi, Jeremy, and Helen. It's really good to catch up with you all. And thank you to all of our members attending. We really appreciate you being here. Indie Week would be nothing without you. And we'll see you in the lobby during the week. Have a wonderful Indie Week and have a really productive year. Thank you very much.